Ladies and gentlemen, our possibilities friend, Mr. Ted Streuli.
I didn't even get wings, man. We've heard today a little about the butterfly effect and how a beat of the wings over the Pacific could become a typhoon over the Atlantic. It's such a cool thought, isn't it? And that this miraculous little butterfly, a delicate, self-propelled flower, has the power to start a storm half a world away. But I can't help but think, wait a minute. Yesterday, she wasn't even a butterfly, right? She was just a caterpillar crawling along on a branch. And as Richard Buckminster Fuller aptly pointed out one time, there is nothing in a caterpillar that tells you it's going to be a butterfly. I mean, look at it, right? I mean, who would imagine that this creepy, crawly, fuzzy little thing is capable of sprouting wings and blossoming into such a magnificent, delicate creature? Nothing against caterpillars, but really, how many teenage girls do you know getting a caterpillar tattooed on their shoulder? You know, the little caterpillar spends his short life hanging out on a branch and eating leaves. His world is awfully small. He's an insect. He doesn't know that he's going to become a butterfly, so he just hangs out on his branch, you know, and chows down on a milkweed leaf and outgrows his skin 4 or 5 times, sort of the insect version of a couch potato. But then he gets a chance to change into something else. He gets wings, and he becomes beautiful, and he can fly above the tree and see the world. And all of a sudden, he realizes all the things he can do. He can pollinate flowers, right? She can lay eggs. And if he's a monarch butterfly, he can vacation in Mexico. It's a whole new world of possibilities. She can even beat a wing and start a typhoon. In the 6 or 7 years I've been involved with possibilities now, I've had the chance to see a lot of caterpillars. And I don't mean that disparagingly. I mean, I've seen so many people come to possibilities full of desire and full of potential, and then I've watched as they've gone through the Possibilities Innovation Program, their chrysalis, if we're going to stick with our metaphor, and come out flying, seeing the world a new way, seeing all the new opportunities around them, and knowing that with the beat of their wings, they can start a storm halfway around the world. Just a minute ago, you heard from Linda Finley, a possibilities innovator who started the Oklahoma African Heritage Network. And thanks to Possibilities, she was able to save a summer reading program that kept children engaged and busy for 6 weeks during their summer break. That's being a butterfly, right? There's Linda out there at Greystone Upper Elementary School helping to pollinate those young minds and keep them active over the summer. But did you hear in there how Linda came to Possibilities in the first place? She heard about it from another innovation program graduate, Pat Grizzard. So think of the strength of Pat Grizzard's wings then, and consider that she improved her community with her project and went on to inspire Linda Finley, whose project touched still more lives. And which of those children over there in North Highlands are about to become butterflies themselves because Pat's beating wing moved Linda, who inspired those children? How about LaShawn Martin, who you might have read about in your Possibilities magazine? And I don't know if you saw what she said. She discovered Possibilities because another community innovator asked her to volunteer on a project, and she was inspired to become a community innovator herself because she wanted to improve her neighborhood. You might have seen where she said, Possibilities helped nurture the skills and confidence she needed to move wishful thinking into plans of action. And when I read that, I thought, isn't that the plight of the caterpillar? right? And is it sitting around wishing to become a butterfly? Is that what motivates her to start turning that silk into a chrysalis? And I don't know where she went. What about my friend Mary Sosa, who you just heard from? Here's a woman who was living in her car with 2 children, right? With 2 children. How much wishful thinking do you suppose was going on in her life at that time? And thanks, at least in part to possibilities, Mary got off the branch, found her wings, and believed in herself enough to run for a seat in our state legislature this year. Mary, I'm so proud of you. How many people over in College Hill neighborhood have felt the effects of Mary's wings beating? How many lives has she made better with streetlights and a new playground and crime prevention? Callie Cochran, you heard from a moment ago, she's a teacher. You know, she said that every little act of kindness, helping each other on the street, working together, can influence others to make change. She gets it, right? She also knows that her involvement with possibilities made her a better teacher. She told us that now, instead of just having a lot of ideas about what would help her school, she's able to get them done. So she told us that because of possibilities, she began to come out of her shell, but I'll propose she was really coming out of her chrysalis, right? Because Callie Cochran is surely a butterfly. And the storm she starts when she beats her wings year after year is going to improve the lives of hundreds of students, students who will go on to improve other people's lives as well. If you happen to be an 8-year-old girl, all that matters to you might be that new playground. Right? If you're an 80-year-old man, maybe all you cared about was that trash on your street finally got cleaned up. If you're a parent, perhaps somebody chasing off the drug dealers in the neighborhood was the only thing you wanted. But you and I know that much, much more comes from the work Possibilities does. Mary Sosa built a lot more than a playground. Right? She built neighbors, and she built self-respect. She started out living in a 1989 Oldsmobile, and she ended up building a community. We delight in the beauty of the butterfly, said Maya Angelou, but rarely admit the changes it has gone through to achieve that beauty. That's what Possibilities does. It facilitates the change. It helps turn that wishful thinking into a plan of action. Of course, Possibilities has to have a plan of action too. And we can believe with all our hearts that we can make the world a better place by helping one person at a time. We can help each person who wants to be a community innovator, and that person can help her community, and the people in that community can go on to help still more people. But today, you're here because we need you to be part of the action plan. We cannot change lives, change communities, change cities without your help. We need you to be a butterfly. We need you to beat your wings right now, right here in this beautiful room, so a typhoon of change can happen across the street, across the neighborhood, and across our city. We need you to open your heart to help Possibilities be the catalyst, be the chrysalis that changes lives and communities and the world around us. So I'm going to ask you to emerge with me now, consider how person upon person can be affected by your gift to this organization. Think about the transformations you can instigate. Think about how you can be a beautiful, magnificent butterfly and all the good you can do. As the table captains pass out the pledge cards, I'll take just a minute to explain the form, which you're going to be able to see up here on the video screens. There it is. Linda Lambert's been a passionate supporter of Possibilities, as you now know, for many years. You just heard her talk about the beginnings of this organization and the 2020 theme that was behind it. So Perhaps you'll consider a pledge of $2,020 or $20.20 per month or another 2020 amount that's meaningful to you. On the left side of your pledge card, you'll see a space to indicate if you can invest in your community at a level of $1,000, $5,000, or $10,000 per year over the next 5 years and become part of our Sustainer Circle. Your multi-year pledge is especially important to the Work Possibilities does because it allows us to set both short and long-range goals, knowing what resources will be available. Multi-year, monthly, and other investment options are below the Sustainer Circle box. Please take note that some are for multi-year pledges. Again, that's set amount each year, or for a one-time investment. Now, for those of you who already have a multi-year pledge, yay you, the bottom left side of the card is for you. That's where you can extend your pledge for additional years, add to the dollar amount, or indicate that you're remitting your pledge today. Those multi-year pledges are convenient. We can bill you monthly, quarterly, or annually. We can draft it from your bank, or we can bill your credit card this year if you prefer. We can even swipe your card over here at the registration table. Trust me, we are not going to let logistics get between you and your contribution. If you will look at the right-hand side of the card, that's where we learn a little bit about you, how to contact you, how you'd like to make payment, whether your community gift is matched by your employer. It's also the place to tell us if your Possibilities pledge is in honor or in memory of someone dear to you. So the top left for new investors in the amount, bottom left for existing investors, right side is for everybody. So take your pens, ask your table captains for help. If you have any questions, go ahead and fill out your cards. And as you do, please allow me to thank you for helping in whatever way you can, and thank you for being part of the Possibilities community. Thank you for being a butterfly.